Today on Frostline, Republican weaknesses heading into 2026, what needs to change after this week's results. We'll also touch on Sydney Sweeney's viral interview and why it matters for media economics. And yes, the government shutdown. Will it keep dragging on, and what ends it? Quick note, Frostline Live returns Wednesday, Nov 19th, 7 p.m. ET. It's our on-air debate where the team disagrees so you don't have to. Trailer drop incoming. Let's roll. Lessons from this week's elections and why the map is scarier than the headlines. This week wasn't about one state. Not just Virginia, New Jersey, or NYC. The pattern was broad. Democrats overperformed in places the GOP thought were safe harbors. In Virginia, Dems flipped a batch of seats and now hold a trifecta, governor's mansion plus both chambers, setting up a congressional map redraw that won't help Republicans. New Jersey Democrats hold their largest assembly margin in 50-plus years. In Georgia, Dems took 2 seats on the Public Service Commission. First wins there since 2007. That's not nothing. For 2026, the Senate math looks okay for Republicans. Democrats need a surprise flip, think Iowa-type upset, to take it. The House is the knife's edge. There are roughly 16 toss-ups. 10 are currently Republican. Another 8 lean R, 10 lean D, a 34-seat volatility band. The GOP doesn't have to lose many to lose the gavel. If they do, expect 2 years of hearings, investigations, and impeachments rather than policy. Zoom out historically, since W2, the president's party loses midterms. 26 House seats, 3 to 4 Senate on average. Under sub-50% approval, House losses average 937s. Translation, headwinds are real and enthusiasm matters. GOP turnout tends to surge with Trump on the ballot. Off-cycle, not so much. A warning sign, Latino voters. Republicans gained ground with Latinos in recent cycles. This week, New Jersey and Virginia hint at backsliding. Is it policy? Messaging? Media framing around immigration enforcement? Whatever your take, optics are a force multiplier. If coverage looks like Abuela being hauled away, it drowns out nuance, fairly or not. Bottom line for the GOP, the map is math. And the math says margins decide 2026.2. The economy. Why feels like edge of recession beats spreadsheets. Every exit poll this week sang the same chorus. The economy. Growth headlines don't matter if households feel squeezed. Markets got choppy. The Dow saw a midweek slump. Correlations snapped. AI megacaps, retail darlings, pennies, even gold sold off together. That's not rotation, that's de-risking. 2 structural tensions. Concentration risk. Most equity gains clustered in the Magnificent Seven. Great for index optics, less great for breadth. Investment paralysis. When policy feels improvisational, tariffs, rulemaking by press conference, capex waits. Investors chase story stocks instead of steady cash flow modes, then wonder why volatility spikes. Labor reads are messy. Private trackers, ADP, alternative datasets, conflict month to month. The Gestalt, hiring downshifted, layoffs avoided, but confidence is fragile. Headlines about mass cuts, Amazon, UPS, IBM, others may not be the whole economy, yet they shape sentiment. Valuation check. Price to earnings at the very top is rich. Some names trade at story PEs that assume a perfect glide path on AI demand. If that slows, gravity reappears. None of this is moral judgment. It's discount rate math. Policy critique from the center-right lane. The more centralized and unpredictable the government's hand, the more capital becomes tactical, not strategic. The antidote isn't sugar rush stimulus or liquidity for vibes. It's rules clarity, tariff discipline, and a credible path for lower structural costs. Energy, permitting, logistics. The Musk comp package discourse and what it actually signals. Cue the outrage cycle. How can Elon Musk get a monster pay package right now? Let's separate cash from equity. Shareholders approved performance-linked comp because they believe key man risk at Tesla is real. Lose Musk. Re-rate the stock like a normal automaker with some AI optionality. And watch the PE compress. Do we at Frostline buy Tesla at a triple-digit PE? That's not investment advice. We don't give that. But we'll say this. Shareholders made a voluntary bet based on future execution, not a tax morality play. You can oppose the optics and still admit the market logic. Key founder, outsized optionality, equity-based carrot, SIR, tariffs, centralization, and why the middle is starving. Here's a take that will annoy both extremes. Blanket tariffs are taxes on your own consumers and supply chains. You can negotiate harder trade deals and still drop broad-brush import taxes that ricochet through input costs and export access. If you want the mid-market to invest, manufacturing, services, give them predictable rules and open lanes, not on-again, off-again tolls. On monetary noise. Pushing for artificially cheap money as a policy flex when liquidity isn't the binding constraint creates asset inflation without new productive capacity. The real game is permits, power, pipelines, ports, not lower rates, please. Shutdown politics. Who blinks, who bleeds, government shutdown theater continues. A rumored Senate package, short-term CR+, a bundle of full-year bills, leg branch, AG, Milcon, UVA, Democrats split. Some see leverage, others see blowback. Republicans facing the "you're governing, you own the pain" trap are floating targeted concessions to flip the narrative. We moved. They didn't. Courts jumped in. A federal judge ordered the administration to continue SNAP distributions despite the shutdown logjam. Administration response. We'll comply with the law, not judicial micromanagement of triage. Yoon. Expect appeals and more pointing. Strategically, if the GOP can show reasonable offers while Dems hold out for maximalist extras, think unrelated subsidy asks, the optics of shutdown as campaign tactic can swing. But if Republicans fracture on message, that advantage vanishes. Intra-party drama tax, R addition. You can't beat the other team if you're busy beating each other. Conservative populists torching their own leadership on TV produces short-term clout and long-term losses. The left learned this in 2018 to 2020. The right is relearning it now. If your brand becomes chaos, swing voters treat you like risk. That's how you lose close house maps. Democrats, who's the leader? Problem and why ambiguity helps until it doesn't. Ask Democrats, who leads? And half the party shrugs. Don't know, nobody. Weirdly, that can be a feature. Without a single face, the opposition can't concentrate fire. But the coalition is a big tent with contradictions. From pragmatic, blue state moderates to hard-left organizers pushing maximalist demands, some comically focused on Israel-only boycotts and punitive measures that read like municipal foreign policy fan fiction. Dems embrace the loudest extremes. They'll alienate swing metros that hate chaos just as much as they hate austerity. If they freeze the extremes out, they risk energy collapse on their own base. That balancing act defines 2026 for them. Generational shift is real. Pelosi exits the stage. The vacuum tempts the loudest mic, not the sanest message. Watch governors and competent committee runners, not Twitter phenoms for the next brand anchor. Case study. New York's preview of 2026 Messaging New York is a lab. The incumbent governor is underwater with key blocks. The challenger frames the race as affordability plus safety versus tax hikes plus ideological experiments. Expect endless Trump, Trump, Trump ads from the incumbent, because nationalizing local races is the only way to hold a deep blue state when municipal politics go off the rails. But here's the surprise. 2022 showed New York can tighten. If the challenger turns out low-propensity voters while the incumbent triangulates between DSA pressure and suburban fatigue, the fault line becomes obvious. Price of living beats performative culture war 9 times out of 10. Media moment. Why a Sydney Sweeney interview trends in a politics show. Why Sydney Sweeney in a politics rundown? Because attention markets decide agenda-setting power. Viral celebrity interviews shift the day's bandwidth more than many op-eds. If you're building a political message, you either surf culture or get dragged under it. The lesson for the GOP and Dems. Narrative timing matters. Pair your policy talk with the day's cultural oxygen or prepare to be ignored. What Republicans need to do. Economy message discipline. Talk prices. Bills, energy, rents, not macro victory laps. Voters buy groceries, not GDP prints. Tariff rethink, target cheaters. Stop taxing allies and your own import-dependent industries. Govern like grown-ups. Fund what you must, cut what you can. Show you can negotiate without daily cliffhangers. Latino Outreach 2.0, security plus small business plus schools. Lead with respect, not cable news clips. Entrepartie détente. Finish family fights offline. Swing seats hear dysfunction, not principle. Candidate quality. Recruit calm executors who can say, "I'll lower your bills and keep your city safe." That's the race. If Republicans execute that playbook, the House becomes defensible, and 2026 becomes a policy election, not a vibes referendum. Shutdown endgame. The fastest path out. Short CR+3 full-year bills. Outside fights parked. Face-saving lines for both sides. And a promise to reopen the broader debate with actual hearings. If either side thinks the shutdown is a silver bullet for 2026, they're wasting precious brand equity. Voters reward competence, especially when their SNAP, TSA, or refunds sit in limbo. Parties don't lose cycles because voters read CBO tables. They lose because voters feel ignored. Republicans can still win 2026 by fixing the kitchen table delta and cooling the chaos tax. Democrats can still lose it by letting their loudest miners call the plays for the varsity. This is Frostline Economics, where we separate signal from noise. If you want more analysis that actually tracks your wallet, work, and world, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell us below. What's the #1 policy you want de-weaponized and made boring again?